Here we go. Am I live? Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. All right, I am live. Super excited to be here today. Okay, so March, we at here, March 18th. Wow, I can't believe we are almost at spring. We are more than halfway through March, and I don't know about you, but I'm really excited not only for spring, but I'm also really excited for Aries season. There's this way where I feel like the Aries energy is going to kind of like push us all forward, and it feels like people have been in a little bit of like a fog lately, or kind of like a little bit like disoriented with all of the new energies coming in, and all of the old energies clearing out. And I feel like that Aries energy is really going to push us forward into kind of like waking up even more, and even the masses as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. So okay, energies that I'm tuning into. So right now there is a really big push, like an awakening push, right? A push into like these higher frequencies, and I'm sure you can all feel it. I know I can feel it, and for me, sometimes it shows up as like a feeling of like anxiety or tension, or just kind of like a lot of energy moving in my body. And one of the things that I keep being shown and that I keep tuning into is that the frequency on the planet is shifting and raising, and the energies are speeding up. There is a lot of light and light coding being like thrust upon the planet, for lack of a better word. And I remember I always go back to the first book that I ever read, channeled material from the Pleiadians when I was 19. I read the book, The Pleiadian Agenda by Barbara Handclough. Highly recommend if you never read that book. And I remember at that time, this was in like 2001, she said that the Earth was going to be moving into the photon belt, which is a place in the galaxy where there's literally more light. And right now, we're going through a time on the planet where literally more light is coming onto the planet, which is amazing. And we're having this experience in within ourselves on an individual level, and then we're also having this experience on a collective level. So, what's happening is people are waking up, consciousness is raising, people are having a wider perspective as to who they really are, what this planet really is, what's really going on. But then at the same time, with all of this light energy coming onto the planet, it is like bringing up or excavating the darkness. So, what we're having happen on an individual level is, as we raise our frequency, as we raise our consciousness, as we open up to these higher dimensions, to higher wisdom, we also need to face the darkness and the shadow within ourselves. And that's kind of my favorite thing to do. If you don't, if you don't know me, then you might just be finding this out. If you do know me, then you know this, that I live for uncovering shadows and having these deep, profound transformations, and completely shifting your frequency. So this is what I'm seeing happening on a big level right now, is a shift in frequency, but it's also creating this excavation of these shadow aspects of ourselves, and these deeper traumas that are ready to come up and be released. And I know that I'm always like, everyone's trauma is being released, but it's true. It is happening on an even bigger level right now. And there is a lot of astrological aspects that are happening too that are supporting this. But what I really wanted to focus on today is around frequency, because I am constantly getting information and messages from my guides around frequency, and around raising our individual frequency, around raising the frequency of the planet, and then additionally around the frequency that you specifically are meant to hold. So, what I'm constantly being shown is that every single one of you, us, um, come in with a specific coding, a specific frequency that we are meant to hold on the planet that actually assists with the evolution of humanity. It assists with the awakening process of humanity. So much of what we're doing here is excavating, uncovering, and releasing and transmuting the lower frequency energies so that we can vibrate at this specific frequency, our unique highest frequency that we are meant to anchor on to the planet at this time. Because for a lot of people, and I see this in a lot of people's Akashic records, because I'm always in people's Akashic records, all of my clients all the time, and what I see constantly is that it's actually less about what you're like doing and more about the frequency that you're holding. And as long as you are holding this frequency and emitting this frequency, then all of the people that are meant to receive your medicine, receive your specific frequency, because it's going to help activate their specific frequency, they will easily be drawn to you or be able to find you because you're emitting this certain frequency. So this is something that I see all the time, that I'm shown all the time, and that basically I see as what I'm helping people do, specifically with the work that I do around transmuting, identifying, acknowledging, and releasing trauma, is so that you can vibrate at this frequency. Because when you do that, what ends up happening is that everything becomes easier because you are living in alignment with your soul, but also you become a clear channel for what you're meant to be doing and the energy that you're meant to be sharing. You've probably heard me talk about many times, as people that I work with clear their trauma, all of a sudden it becomes very clear to them what they are meant to do. Like there's no confusion, there's no like, where do I go next or what should I do next? It all becomes very clear, because when we clear out the trauma, you then just become a clear channel for that life force energy, that consciousness, to just channel through you, and everything kind of feels and becomes easier. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about what is that one thing that is blocking you from raising your frequency, from activating your highest frequency. And I'm sure you can probably guess what the answer is to this, but it is trauma, or we can call it lower frequency energies. We can call it old programming, we can call it limiting belief systems, whatever you want to call it. I like to have an umbrella term of trauma, because trauma, I define it as any experience that we had that was overwhelming to us, that we have not fully processed. And additionally, an experience that we had that created a belief within us that was limiting about ourselves and the world. And then we internalize that in the subconscious, and we actually project that onto the world and create that. So that is your number one block usually to manifesting, is whatever is still being held in your unconscious. So the work of transmuting trauma is not only releasing that energy from the body, but it's also the acknowledgement of it. Because when you acknowledge it, it's no longer in your subconscious, and then it's no longer driving the bus, right? Because what's really driving the bus is that energy in your subconscious. So when you can reprogram the subconscious to having beliefs of self-worth, expansion, deservingness, growth, all of those things, and aligning with the highest version of yourself, aligning with your highest timeline, then it becomes easy to manifest, because those things are driving the bus rather than limiting beliefs that have been programmed or created in childhood or through the ancestral lines, past lives, or family and ancestral trauma. So the biggest thing that we can do to raise our frequency is to do this deeper shadow work, do this deeper work around acknowledging and transmuting your trauma. And sometimes it is, well, always, it's not something that you can do on your own. There's little things you can do on your own. It's funny, I was talking about this earlier. When I first started doing this work with people, um, people used to always ask me, like, oh, well, what can I do on my own? And I would always be like, oh, well, you can do breath work, you can do this on your own. And, you know, I realized that I was saying those things out of like a people pleasing pattern, which is one of my biggest patterns that I have transmuted on my journey. But really the answer is that you can't do it on your own, because when we're working with the subconscious mind, it's really difficult to know what's in your subconscious mind on your own, because it's in your subconscious mind. Like, how would you know that? Breath work is really powerful for accessing the subconscious mind, which is why I use it with all of my clients. But it's still really difficult to access and acknowledge fully what is in your subconscious mind, without somebody guiding you through that and reflecting that back to you. So I was just contributing to an article earlier, and one of the questions was, how what can we do on our own to start transmuting our trauma? And I was like, well, you can try my breathwork tool, but really you can't do it on your own. You know, you need to work with somebody who is trained and has a ton of expert experience in helping people move through this stuff. And the other thing is, it doesn't have to take a long time, especially when you're working in the quantum field, where you can get instantaneous results through energy work and breath work. It doesn't have to take forever, but it does take a willingness to get a little uncomfortable, to get down underneath the hood of the car and really experience those deeper emotions that are suppressed and unacknowledged, because we all have them. But then when you do that, that's when all of the miracles start to unfold, and life just starts working, and that's when your frequency raises. So when it comes to raising our frequency, when it comes to raising our consciousness, and when it comes to living in this completely new way, the answer is always looking at what you're not looking at, right? What is underneath the surface that you have not acknowledged, that you're suppressing, that you're not looking at. And this is a really it's a really profound and amazing journey. And I know some people get like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting, or this is never ending, it seems like. And in some ways, it is never ending, right? But once you start to do it and you start to learn how to navigate it, it actually becomes like a fun game almost, that's filled with curiosity, right? Because it's like, oh, well, why isn't this showing up for me? Or why do I feel so uncomfortable right now? And it's like, oh, I must be growing. I asked for this shift, right? And now I'm being shown what is standing in the way between me and having this shift. So I'm going to get curious. I'm going to look at what's underneath the surface. I'm going to look at these emotions. I'm going to look at this stuff that's coming up for me, and I'm going to move through it, because I know that when I get to the other side, that's when I get the thing that I want. So once you start to learn how to navigate it and look at it in this new way, it doesn't seem hard. It's just how you start to go through life. Oh, wait, I didn't even check the comments. Hi, Dahlia. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Also, anyone else who's watching, please say hello. I forgot to invite everybody to say hi. Yeah. So that's kind of how it works. And what I'm really seeing from people right now is, I have walked a lot of clients in the last month through some really deep work, some really deep emotional upheaval, excavation, and transformation. And what has happened, because I feel like a lot of people are being called right now to do this deeper emotional work, this deeper emotional shadow excavation, so that they can really step into an even fuller version of themselves. Because what's happening right now, like on a collective level, is we're having this spiritual awakening as a species. We're having like this spiritual expansion. And people are feeling called, people who came here to assist, which is most likely everyone who is watching, because no one who's attracted to my work is not someone who came here to assist in the evolution of humanity and doesn't have very profound spiritual gifts. So if you're watching, you do. And it means that right now you're going to be really feeling that pull to step forward and assist with other people's spiritual awakening, other people's spiritual advancement, because that's what's happening. Like, even if you look at the astrology, like the age of Aquarius and all of the other aspects that are happening right now, we also have the Neptune and Jupiter conjunct in Pisces, which is like Jupiter's expansion, Neptune is like spirituality, and Pisces is about spirituality. So it's like this huge expansion of uh like a spiritual awakening, right? So what's happening right now is anybody who came with a mission of assisting with the evolution of humanity is like really feeling that call, really feeling that pull of like, okay, this is what I came here for. Like, this is my time. Like, I need to step forward. And in order to share your gifts in the most clearly channeled and profound way possible, you're gonna have to clear your trauma. You're gonna have to clear the stuff that is in the way of that. All of the old programming, all of the ancestral and past life trauma, and all of the stuff that happened in this lifetime, and also what I like to call the trauma of just being human, has to kind of be acknowledged, transmuted, and shifted so that you can share your highest frequency that you're meant to share with the world, like I was talking about in the beginning. So that's what's happening right now. So I'm seeing so many people being called to do this deeper excavation of their deeper traumas so that they can really step into the highest version of themselves. Hi, Molly. So now is really the time for this, is the point. And I'm seeing so many, and including myself, you know, I'm always doing this work, right? Probably more uh, crazily than other people, because I'm kind of just like, I have no, what is it? What is the word? Not no fear, but I'm just like, give it all to me. I don't care. I don't want anything to be suppressed, or not being aware of it, no matter how much it hurts or how painful it is. I'm like a glutton for punishment sometimes. I think that's my Scorpio nature. But anyway, yeah, so many people are being called into doing this work, um and it's scary for people, you know, not only because of like what you'll have to face, but also just like making that commitment to yourself, right? That and if you're deciding to really step forward and work with somebody and invest in yourself, like, the reason why that's so scary is because it's like really committing to yourself and your transformation, and having to require much more of yourself, and having to show up differently for yourself, so you can become this new version of yourself. And that's confronting. It's confronting and it's scary, and we're always faced with doubt anytime we do something new. It's like, um, can I really do this? I've never done this before. Am I really going to be able to do this? Right? That's what always comes up for everyone. And what I always say to people is that, um, as long as you don't stop, you will do it, right? It might not happen in the time frame that your brain decided it should happen, but as long as you keep going, as long as you don't give up, as long as you keep moving forward and you keep doing the work, it will happen. You just have to keep going. And it's true for everything, right? And then also, if you look back on the things that you've done in your life that you had done for the first time, and you didn't know if you could do it and you did it, there's your evidence, right? That you can do new things, you can create new things. But we're always faced with that doubt in the beginning. So yeah. So that is basically the gist of it today, is this really deep and profound focus on this shadow work, you know. And I know that word is used a lot, and I don't like to really use it. I like to say trauma work, but I feel like that scares people too. But when I say trauma, I mean just anything within you that's unacknowledged, that is that's limiting you or blocking you from being the fullest, most expressed version of yourself, and carrying out your mission on this planet that you came here to carry out. So, with that being said, I have actually just one more space available to work with me privately right now. And this is for the woman who's like really ready to dive in with both feet, because this is a 6 month container with full access to me through Voxer, through one on one calls, and to my community. And it is really a profound transformational container, where magic will occur and things will really, really change in your life, whatever it is you're wanting to create. If you are ready to go to your next income level, if you are ready to go to your next level in relationships, if you are really ready to step forward in your mission, like you know you're here for more, you know you came here to do something, and you're ready to really step into the next level of that, we will pinpoint exactly what that is and then guide you to stepping into it. So that's what this is really about. All of my work is about really deep and profound transformation that doesn't have to take a lot of time. So if that's something that you are feeling called to do, then just send me a message on Facebook and we'll talk about whether it's a fit for you. Um, but that is pretty much all I have for right now. I'm going to, I have one Akashic Business attunement this afternoon, which, by the way, those sessions are really profound. I put those out early last week because it just kind of came to me in a dream that I was going to do these Akashic Business attunements for people where, like, I tune the frequency of your business, and they are really profound. So I might put those out again at some point. I don't know, but they've been really lighting me up. So anyway, reach out to me if you have any questions about working with me privately or any of my other containers. And I'm wishing everybody a great weekend. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.